Commissioner Jim Sims is going to offer us the invocation.
Would you pray with me, please? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day, and Lord, we especially thank you for the privilege of living in Amarillo, Texas, and living in the United States of America. Lord, we ask that you be with us as we make decisions, and we ask that you be with those who give us the privilege of making these decisions. And I'm speaking of our armed forces that are out there in harm's way. Lord, guide and direct us. Bless us to your good. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Now we're going to ask Commissioner Ron Boyd to release the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mayor Deborah McCart would have loved to have been here today, but she's out of pocket, as is Commissioner Scott. So we're going to do the best we can to try and carry on without them. Do we have some?
It is easy.
It is easy, that's right. Can we have our representatives from the Hospice Care of the Southwest, please? I've got a little bit of a proclamation I'd like to read to you. Come on up. I see these folks every day. We're all working in the same field. And are you going to hear us folks do this? Okay, and the proclamation goes like this. Whereas providing high-quality hospice and palliative care reaffirms our belief in the essential dignity of every person, regardless of age, health, or social status, and that every stage of human life deserves to be treated with the utmost respect and care. And whereas hospice care and palliative care offers the highest quality services and support to patients and families facing serious and life-threatening illness, and whereas skilled and compassionate hospice and palliative care professionals, including physicians, nurses, social workers, therapists, counselors, health aides, and clergy, provide comprehensive care focused on the wishes of each individual patient. And whereas through pain management and symptom control, caregiver training and assistance, and emotional and spiritual support, allowing patients to live fully up until the final moments, surrounded and supported by the faces of loved ones, friends, and committed caregivers. And whereas last year more than 1.45 million Americans living with life-limiting illness and their families received care from the nation's hospice programs and communities throughout the U.S. And whereas more than 550,000 trained volunteers contribute 25 million hours of service to hospice programs annually, and whereas hospice and palliative care providers encourage all people to learn more about options to care and to share their wishes with family, loved ones, and their healthcare professionals. Now, therefore, we, Mayor and City Commissioners of the City of Amarillo, Texas, do hereby proclaim November 2010 as National Hospice Palliative Care Month, and encourage citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of care at the end of life, and to observe this month with appropriate activities and programs.
Thank you very much.
And say a few words for the TV audience.
Okay, I appreciate that. And first, let me thank all of you all for creating such a wonderful environment. The City of Amarillo is a wonderful place for us to practice care for patients and families, and we're honored by this proclamation. And it really is our privilege to be able to serve families and patients throughout the area, especially during November, or National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. We are going to be providing grief and holiday support to folks all over Amarillo and the Panhandle, free of charge, whether they've used our program or not. It's part of our commitment to give back to the community. So our staff members and our volunteers, we join together in not only thanking you, but thanking the City of Amarillo for the opportunity to serve and to offer care. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, and continue to take care of the people of Amarillo.
Well, thank you. We've prepared packets that are over here on the counter for you to take to your constituency, and just to inform you of the variety of programs that we offer. So we look forward to you helping to spread the word.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do
you want to introduce everybody who's here with you today?
Well, or ladies want to introduce themselves?
I'm Janet Wood, Office Manager.
I'm Helen Miller, Director of Professional Services.
I'm Ira Bergman, Medical Social Work.
I'm Cheryl Bell, I do quality.
I'm Shane Harnish, I'm the Director of Nurses for Children's Place, but I work very closely with Office Care Southwest.
Ronnie Atkins, Administrator.
And I'm Pam Webb, volunteer.
And I'm Danny Mize. I coordinate the spiritual care team in our bereavement service. Thank you.
Say aye. Thank you. Oh. Right on.
It is 5:30, and it's the last Tuesday of the month, so this is our monthly late meeting of the Amarillo City Commission. So we're going to move right on into our agenda at this point, and we'd like to start with the minutes. You've got a copy of those in your packet. Those have been reviewed, and I understand there was one edit. Has that been included in our copy?
It has not been made to your copy, sir.
So, I would, one deal that I made when I made my motion was to put the stop sign on the curb,
Inside.
inside the curb, not in the stop sign on 33rd, not to leave it in the street.
Okay. Are there any additional comments from the audience? Then I'd like a motion on that amended recommendation regarding minutes.
I would move for approval of minutes as amended.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion passes 3-0. Next item is ordinance number 7245. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance renaming a portion of Littler Place to Ryan Palmer Lane. You can see on your diagram there, out in the Tascosa Estates, and there have been no further comments from the community over the last week. Are there any comments today from the audience? From the commission? May I have a motion?
Move approval ordinance 7246, Mayor.
45.
45, got the wrong page.
Second.
Way to go.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 3-0. Next item is ordinance number 7246. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance changing the zoning of a tract of land in the vicinity of Southwest 18th Avenue and Long Street from Residential District 3 to Residential District 3 with specific use permit for institutional, philanthropic, and charitable uses. You can see it, the diagram there overhead and the 200-foot notice area. Any comments from the audience on this property? From the commission? May I have a motion?
Dr. Mayor, I would move for approval of ordinance number 7246.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And yet no opposition, so that passes by a 3-0 vote. Ordinance number 7247. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 16.3, Traffic of the Amarillo Municipal Code, modifying the existing public street from one-way vehicular traffic to two-way vehicular traffic as follows. Benton Park area, Southeast 17th Avenue from South Rolton Street to South Spring Street, from the current one-way vehicular traffic designation to two-way vehicular traffic designation. You can see that change on your overhead. It was discussed last week. There have been no additional comments over the last week. Are there any comments today from the audience? From the commission? May I have a motion?
Mayor, I move approval ordinance 7247.
Second.
I moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? None. Therefore, that passes.
I might make a comment on this diagram.
Yes.
It says two-way vehicular
That's correct. The map before you today was the existing map that we used when they initiated the study. So it's,
So it will be two-way
On
on
17.
yes.
Very good. Next item is item number 5.
There you go.
My helper's a little slow today. Thank you, Ms. Cody.
Next item is number 5, the consent agenda. Included among the consent agenda items are A, purchase fire marshal support utility vehicle. B, purchase digester gas mixing compressors. C, award transfer station expansion project. D, award sanitary sewer rehab project. E, approval Osage High Service Pump Station project change orders. F, approval amendment number 1 to airport advertising agreement. And G, dedication and acceptance temporary construction easements. Are there any individuals in the audience who would like to extract any of the consent agenda items to be considered separately? Are there any members of the commission who feel like they'd like to pull any of these items out for separate consideration or simple description and discussion? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Dr. Mayor, I would move for approval of the consent agenda as presented.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
With no opposition, that passes by a 3-0 vote. That includes our regularly scheduled items for the agenda on this evening. So we now leave this time open for anybody in the public who'd like to discuss any items of interest to them before the City Commission. Come on.
And we're going to waive the 3-minute exclusion. Even though we have the crowd that we got today, we're going to throw it out the window.
I'll be first. Good evening. My name is Kenneth Graham. I reside at 3007 Harmony Street. Just wanted to inquire about the status of a couple of items I think that we've discussed in here before, and then another meeting. The first one is the hike and bike plan update that came out of the Traffic Commission, or was approved by the Traffic Commission in late July. I'm not sure where that when that came to the City Commission or if it has, but we're anxious to know if that's going to be on an agenda soon for approval.
Mr. Atkinson, you know what is going on behind the scenes. Would you please respond if you don't mind?
Certainly. The document was provided to the City Commission in the month of August as a review item and to solicit any comments or input that they may have. We have that document back. Again, we'd like to get with you and the Traffic Commission and possibly that independent study group or the subcommittee that you guys have been working on and have them look at some suggestions and see if there's anything in there that we might want to change or do differently, and then bring it back for action.
All right. Good. Thank you. Which leads me to my second question related to an ad hoc committee, proposed ad hoc committee for the Traffic Commission concerning itself with bicycle and pedestrian issues. At the July meeting of the Traffic Commission, several folks stood up from the audience to talk about bicycle and pedestrian issues. As a result of that meeting and a meeting with Mr. Atkinson and Ms. Covey, we had discussion about establishing an ad hoc committee called the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory or Ad hoc Committee as part of the Traffic Commission to concern itself with bicycle and pedestrian issues. We had discussion that ad hoc committee might be the size of about 9 folks, or an odd number of 9, and I think at this point I have identified 6 people who'd be willing to serve on that committee. We had discussion that it'd be good to have all 4 quadrants of the city represented to concern itself with these issues. Still looking for a representative from the northeast quadrant of the city and the northwest. We also identified a couple of at-large candidates. I talked about having 2 people from the Traffic Commission serve on that ad hoc committee, plus 1 person from the Parks and Recreation commission. I think that's what we discussed, Jared. So again, of the 9 possible slots for that ad hoc committee, I think we have probably six people ready and willing to serve in that capacity. So I'm not sure what the next step is here, if we need to fill all 9 slots or start working with the proposed agenda and fill those slots as we go along, or how best to handle that. And again, I think it does require approval of the city commission for it to be recognized. That's my interpretation from this advisory board members handbook on page 24 that deals with ad hoc committees.
We will certainly, we're commenting today on already accepted city policy. We'll certainly take that under advisement, and we'll review where we stand on that, and at that time we certainly will proceed.
All right, thank you. And I'd be happy within the framework of that proposed ad hoc committee, or as a member of the traffic commission, I'd be happy to take a look at the questions or changes, whatever you have in mind for that hike and bike plan.
I believe the traffic commission will be meeting soon. One major topic on their agenda, of course, would be the no cell phone use in the school zones that the commission sent to that committee. So, yeah, Ken, we can get together in the next few days and visit on that. I'm pretty sure that everything we've talked about is well on track, so it'll be happening here pretty quick.
That's reassuring. I would point out that on that hike and bike plan update, the update calls for an additional trail to the plan, and that is commonly called the Old Sonsi Trail. It's the old Sonsi road bed that extends north from Amarillo Boulevard up towards Wildcat Bluff Nature Center. This past year, I think very little maintenance was done out there in that area related to mowing. I know this topic came up at the MPO meeting this week. Members or users of that trail are willing to do some maintenance. We're willing to do something related to adopting a trail at the appropriate time. So this would, if at all possible, be great to get some things rolling in that direction now that we're out of growing season, so that as we head into the growing season next spring, hopefully we have something in place.
I think that property belongs to TxDOT. I don't know if the city has anything that can be done from our standpoint, but I'm sure maybe if you go to TxDOT and ask them if y'all could take that on as a project, kind of like they do picking up trash, y'all could have a, 3 miles?
It's a 3-mile trail that extends.
It's a great trail. My wife and I ride it, but I think you're going to have to go to TxDOT. I don't think the city, to my knowledge,
Well,
I believe that's correct. We can certainly assist at the right time working with TxDOT. The city can't grant that authority.
the TxDOT is reluctant to enter into any agreement related to the trail itself. In their mind, it does not exist as a trail for right-of-way purposes, and I believe where that is headed is some type of agreement between TxDOT, Potter County, and the city.
I don't feel bad that they didn't mow the weeds. They didn't mow the weeds anywhere this year, so several different times because of lack of funding stuff.
Right.
But I bet you could probably even get a sign put up saying this is being taken care of by Task Force Recycling.
I'm hopeful that we can get there.
I bet you can get that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Thank you.
I'd like to take just a moment of personal privilege. We had a review of our city healthcare plan and city care clinic today, and I continue to be amazed at the amount of money that city staff can save for the citizens of Amarillo through the use of our city care clinic. Allow all our employees who have a fairly high deductible insurance plan to come and get their care basically first dollar, so they don't have to pay their deductible. And so I would like to personally thank the employees in the City Care Clinic. It's one of the greatest things we do for our employees is having that clinic. Kay Langham is the clinic administrator. Mary Chu Balmez is the physician. We've got Gerald Ashley, who's the nurse practitioner. Jamie Moore and LVN. Lorraine Lucero, who's a medical assistant. We've got Lillian Crane, who's a nurse practitioner. Judy Thomas, nurse practitioner. And Christian Rattray, nurse practitioner. Every day, they're taking care of the citizens of Amarillo so that they can be out taking care of you. So thank you for attending our meeting. Are there any other comments from anybody in the audience? Well, we'll consider